Are Mournguls for vampire counts any good in patch 5.3? Yes, I'm covering them for vampire counts specifically, a staple of my Vampire Coast games. It's good to go over the strengths and quirks in this roster, plus what it actually works claw in fingerless glove with. Recruited for 950 dark magic and 238 upkeep, or the same as Graveguard with halberds. This gets you 16 entities on Ultra with 8,960 health between them. That's less than Crypt Horrors, which I mentioned because some believe Mournguls to make Horrors obsolete. They really don't. Armor of 30 is actually the same as Horrors, but Mournguls have an inherent missile resistance of 30 that is very handy for lasting under fire while hitting shooty Empire gun lines. Leadership of 50 is okay. Speed 54 is okay, but it is not exceptional. Chart speed 86 means they have a sudden burst of acceleration when taking a target down. Melee attack begins at 36 and inflicts frostbite for a minus 30% speed debuff. Yes, this is cumulative with poison if that ever comes up. Attack interval of 4 is pretty standard. Splash target size of medium means regular cavalry on down, and max targets actually damaged of 4 is a decent amount of dilution for better and worse. Melee defense of 26 is what we'd expect for monstrous infantry, really. They're not duelists. Weapon strength of 100 is split between base 30 and armor piercing 70 damage, a nice heavy AP split, with a beefy bonus versus infantry of 20. This means that the unit is far better at striking and damaging infantry than cavalry, but at least it will hurt even well-armored cavalry if it connects. Charge bonus is 28, which we'd like higher, but at least it's there and decent. Mass is 1500 per entity, decent stuff. This unit counts as a siege attacker, is undead obviously, causes fear and terror, has the hunger for self-sustain in melee and melee only, has Vanguard deployment, stalk, and strider. That's a lot of features, and at least gives you the possibility of doing some pretty aggressive things with stalk that Crypt Horrors cannot. Therefore, this is an alternative to Crypt Ghoul support. In the redline skills, Evil Souls grants at 3 pips, plus 8 melee attack and spell resistance 15%. The resistance is interesting. The melee attack is truly brutal. At rank 7, Deadly Power can grant melee attack plus 5, weapon strength plus 12%, and physical resistance 10%. So for those keeping score, that's 30 missile resistance, 15% spell resistance, and 10% physical resistance on the same unit. In the tech tree, Soul Binder shaves 10% from both upkeep and any manner of recruitment costs. Nightmarish Reaping slash plus 4 more melee attack, and plus 15% weapon strength, and Spirit Shackles doubles the in-battle healing cap and provides 500 barrier hit points, meaning they can slink off and recover barrier while in stalk. That's a luxury Karn race don't have, and therefore it means this unit becomes even more effective at sneaking in and tearing through opposition. So how do we use Mournguls? It's not always possible to use them at their sneakiest, but despite the low armor, they're pretty solid bruisers regardless. If you're going to use them in normal combat, be aware that their animations are not quite as awesome as, let's say, Rat Ogres, with their massive pounces straight out of Vermintide. Mixing with Chaff to help both out is an option, and one you should use with regularity. Also, things like Corpse Cart support just doesn't exist for Vampire Coast, at least not without alliances, so you're dealing with a different type of circumstance. Vampire Coast doesn't have Black or Blood Knights for which to frostbite a target for a 1-2 combination. So basically, my advice is to hurl Mournguls at whatever annoys you most. Be mindful that their targets should be somewhat slower than they are, and that missile resistance doesn't mean missile immunity, but they're potentially kings of hit and run and artillery gobbling. Crypt Ghouls really are a good match for them. There's no really bad use of them except one that exposes them too early, making them take damage out of melee where they have no opportunity to heal it back. Without shields or much for maneuverability, once they're being focused, it hurts, but you just have to live with it. If anything, the biggest pain is taking 2 turns to recruit them, but that's just how it goes. In my second demo combat, I did use a whole bunch of them without Chaff, and this exposes the weaknesses that they do have against base damage dealing targets. So, over time, they really need either healing, Chaff, or both to dilute the damage that's coming in and make them more effective at dishing it out. Take care, and have fun sending these guys in as a very nasty surprise. Haunt your foes not just with the appearance but with the damage they do to units unprepared to deal with stalking plus armor piercing.